Hello there, this is Harry Du. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to get started with MicroStrategy Python SDK, mstrio-py. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to use Conda to create an environment, how to install MicroStrategy for Python SDK, how to use mstrio-py in Python Notebook, and how to use MicroStrategy for Python Notebook connector, how to launch Pycharm using MicroStrategy mstrio-py, and how to debug MicroStrategy Python SDK in Pycharm. Let's get started. So in this video, I'm going to use Conda. So Conda is the Python's packaging management system. So if you don't know how to, if you don't have it already, and you can check the documentation, there are plenty of documentation about how to install. So you can install Conda, and also you can install Conda Anaconda Navigator. So I have this installed, and let's use this. Okay, so here first I'm going to create an environment. So if I want to, I can list. So right now I have those environment. I'm going to create a new environment called mstrio demo. So I'm going to create a new environment called mstrio demo, and I'm going to use this Python 3.10 version. So how to get a mstrio-py SDK? You can go to our GitHub page to see the instructions. So after installing this, I'm going to install this. The reason I choose to Python 3.10, that's minimal version supported by mstrio-py. So let's create this. So proceed with yes. Okay, so it will take about 10 seconds. It's ready. So now I'm going to use this environment. So you call Conda, activate the environment name. So now it shows this is the environment I just created. If you try to see Python version, you can type Python. You can see 3.10.8. That's my Python version. Okay, let's install MicroStrategy for Python SDK. So install in order to install MicroStrategy, so you can check the documentation. You can just use pipe install mstrio-py. Okay, so let's do this. So it will install mstrio-py and also all the dependent packages. Okay, I have this installed. I also want to install MicroStrategy for Jupyter Notebook extension. So in order to install this, I'm going to copy this here. It will install MicroStrategy for Jupyter extension. It's called the Jupyter connector. So let's MicroStrategy connector for Jupyter. So let's copy this. So after install, you need to enable it. Okay, I'm going to enable this. Now let's use a Python notebook. Okay, you can type Jupyter Notebook. It will start Jupyter Notebook here. Okay, right. And you can, in Jupyter Notebook, you can create a new notebook. Right, select new and pick Python 3. If you create a notebook, you see here that's a MicroStrategy for Jupyter extension. So connect to MicroStrategy. So here I'm going to try to use this. So let's connect this. I need to use an environment. So I'm going to use one of the environment I have. Okay, let me get the URL. Copy the URL here. I'm going to also use, since I used this before, my browser remembers it. That's okay. So I'm going to log into this environment. And once you log in, it will let you pick a project. I'm going to pick a tutorial project. Continue. I can import data to Jupyter Notebook. So I'm going to pick some data. I'm going to pick maybe a cube. So I'm going to pick a cube, maybe. Maybe I'll pick this one. I'll pick this one. Let's see. and import. So now after this, it shows the preview. So if you want to see the code it generates, it's here. You can see in this code, it will first import some class, right? And set up some environment variable, set up some parameter, and call the connection with this parameter to create a connection, and also call the load cube with some cube ID. And after loading this, it will show like a data frame. And here, I can also run this again. I can also run this again. So if I, after getting this, I can also show the header, okay? Show the header of the data frame. Reprint. I'm going to try to print this. You see, right? This is printed. Okay, so now let's try to oh, by the way, you can also launch Jupyter Notebook from Conda navigator. So if I go here and I can install, I need to pick, since I already installed, I think I need to pick an environment. So that's a new environment I just created. I need to refresh maybe. Okay, refresh. Okay, so yeah, you see the mstrio-py demo environment. I can launch the Jupyter Notebook from here as well. Okay, so now let's try to use mstrio-py in Pycharm. So in order to use Pycharm, you can launch the Pycharm, install Pycharm, and launch Pycharm here. So I have a Pycharm installed. I'm going to just launch it directly. Okay, so it opens here. I'm going to create a new project. Pick a project name and pick an environment. Okay, I'm going to pick a previous configured environment from here. Mstrio demo, right? That's a new environment I just created. So I'm going to use this. Okay, let's create a create. It will create some like a main.py file for me. So I'm not going to use this file. I'll just replace the code with the code I just generated from here. So I'm going to just copy some code here. Okay, I'm going to copy some code here. Okay, replace this, and at the end, I'm going to also print. Maybe I just let me just print this data frame. Okay, otherwise you will not see. Okay, so let's run this. I'm going to first run it. Okay, select this and run. After you run, ask me login. Okay, I'm going to enter my login and password. All right, you see, after running this, you see this is printed out, right? The data is also printed out. If you want to debug into Python code, you can set a breakpoint. You can set a breakpoint, and let me try to debug into this code. So if you want to debug, you select debugger and debug this point. So I just use the debugger step into the function called load cube. So we can step into, we can step by step to check the code if you want to. mstrio-py is the open source project. If you want to check the source code, you can find the source code on GitHub. You can also contribute to this project. You can find the source code on GitHub. You can also contribute to this project. Thank you for watching. See you next time.